So if you're in the AI space or you've been using AI frequently, you probably see a lot of these visuals of whenever a new model comes out, they show how it completely destroys all of the previous model's capabilities. And then you're excited, okay, this model is going to be the action model that's going to help transform my business and completely do all the work in my business. And then on the other side, there's people who use things like Claude and then expect, okay, this new agent harness or this new agent is going to completely do everything in my business perfectly and it's going to work. I don't need to do anything. Just plug in the agent and it'll do work naturally out of the box. So the problem is there's a lot of noise on the market talking about how AI can do work in your business. They always talk about the new model, the new agent harness, and so on. But I haven't seen anyone actually show AI doing real work in their business, like work that would generate real revenue in their business. And there's a reason why. So the best AI engineers at Anthropic already explained how to use AI to get work done in your business. By the way, there's this nice video that Anthropic created. It's called Don't Build Agents, Build Skills Instead. You should definitely check it out. I'll link it in the description below. But basically, this is the visual why most business owners don't actually have AI doing work in their business. So first, most people would focus on the model. So that's a processor. So that's like Opus 4.6, Sonnet, Codex 5.2. That's the model, right? The next level is the agents, which is the operating system. So that's kind of like OpenClaw, using the Claude web app, Claude Code, and so on. Now, if we want to take the next level, it's skills, it's applications. So most AI engineers will tell you that you need to focus on the skills and the applications on how AI can use stuff in your business. So the problem that AI misses in terms of getting predictable work done is skills. So in the video, they went over how they created skills for different use case scenarios. So they created skills for math, they created skills for tax, and that's how you get AI to do work done specifically, because the goal isn't to just use AI as a chatbot. The goal is to actually use AI as an employee in your business. So while most people focus on just upgrading the model and like looking at the next shiny object syndrome, which is an OpenClaw and like some other stuff, they're missing out on what is the actual lever moving thing is, which is giving your expertise into AI. And the way you do that is skills. So that's what's missing. So the thing about skills is that skills allow AI to continuously learn over time. Okay, if you just give AI a task without a skill, it might do okay. So AI is smart, it's intelligent. If you give AI a few skills, it's capable. But if you give AI a lot of skills, and ideally if they chain together, then AI becomes very useful and generates revenue in your business, which is our goal here anyways. As business owners, we want to have AI give us leverage in our business so we can make as much money without needing to work as many hours. Not just that, but SkillsBench actually did a research on this, and they compared AI without skills and AI using skills. So when they did this, they saw that no matter what model was used, the output was significantly better with skills. So more specifically in this infographic, they tested 86 expert level tasks across 11 domains. So they had different variety of difficult tasks to get done. So some of them were like core tasks, which is like 20%, extended task, which takes around like 1 to 4 hours, and then extreme tasks that would take more than 4 hours. And this is what they found out. So Gemini performed 25% better with skills. Claude Code, Codex, everything performed way better with skills as well. Now, there's a difference here as well, because there's skills that are expertly made and then skills that are self-generated. So if we compare this skill as self-generated and this skill as expert created, well, there's a big gap. So when you create skills, you want to make sure that you create skills that are designed and has your context in your business. Because just having AI create a skill randomly, you just, hey, create the skill, is completely useless. You do need to create the skill. You do need to engineer the skill using with your expertise, your frameworks and thought process. And then you need to improve that over time. Okay, so these are probably just marginal gains. Like 25% is massive, but like you could probably get the performance way more up to around like 80% if you work on the skill over time, because training the skill based on feedback compounds over time, because every learning improves on the learning previously. So this is why building skills should be one of the biggest focus you should have in your business, especially if you want AI to do work in your business that'll generate revenue. Because a lot of people would focus on the model. They would say, oh, the next model will come in, you won't need the skills. Well, there will be some skills that will be deprecated, but I don't really believe that, because the real work that's going to generate revenue in your business is probably going to be like extended work and extreme work that might take like more than 1 hour. So in those cases, then no matter how powerful the AI is, even if we get like Opus 4.6 and we get like Mythos next, like you still need the skill to have AI know how to do stuff in your business. So the crazy thing here is even like Opus, let's say if we look Opus 4.5 over here, this is without skill, it's 22, and Haiku 4.5, which is a weaker model, scored 27.7, which is better than 22 with Opus 4.5. So it goes to show that even like weaker models with skills perform better than higher quality models or stronger compute models with their skills. So now ideally you probably want to use the best model with really good skills. That's ideally can get you the best outcome possible, but it still shows how skills should be the primary focus for you when trying to create AI employees in your business. So if there's one thing to know with AI is that the model's capabilities or the intelligence isn't always a bottleneck. Yes, there are times where the AI is literally really incompetent and can't actually follow instructions. Yes, that does happen, but most of the case, the AI is not a predictable thing. It's a non-deterministic predictor. So if you run AI at different times, you're always going to get a different answer. So we want to use the power of AI, which is a thinking, but we still want to get predictable results out of AI, so we do not need to do everything in our business. So you might have a really good AI, but it give you some great output, decent output, amazing output, pretty good, but the quality just is different every single time. While with skills, we're going to have predictable output every single time. So we have production grade output, run 1, 2, 3, 4. Every single time we want to hit the mark with a skill because that's what you need in order to automate any part of your business. If you want to get an employee, you hire employees because they do work predictably and they do it at a high quality standard. So if we have skills, that's how we turn AI to an employee. So the way you do this is, number one is you want to look for your business context. So you want to sit down, you want to ask yourself, you want to look through the workflow. What goes into a specific workflow? What are the thought process that goes through it? What are the standards? What are the specific frameworks and so on? And then you would then try to codify it or create a standard so that you can give it to AI. So kind of think it like you're going to be training a human, right? You might know stuff like naturally in your head, but you need to explain it and teach it to someone that has never seen this concept ever in their life. So that's how you need to be treating your skills. You need to be treating it as if AI is seeing it for the first time and they need to understand all of the context. When you have that, that's when you get predictable output. So you get real progress and you actually have a workflow in your business completely run automated and you're going to get predictable outputs. Now, if you want more information on this, I'm going to put links in the description on other videos you can watch. But yeah, this is what you want to focus on. Now, the problem is when you start creating skills, what you'll notice is you probably create skills for different parts of your business, right? You might create a skill for content that writes drafts, reporting, onboarding, maybe you want to publish posts, research. So the problem is a lot of people will get up to speed, they'll want to create skills. But the thing is, skills work best when they're connected and they chain together. Because if you look at your business isn't just one task, it's a series of workflows that connect to each other. So you want to first figure out what workflows connect to each other. You can chain them so skills can be called or invoked sequentially so that you can then get, let's say, 1 or 4 hours worth of work done completely by AI. Because if you have just one skill standalone, probably going to get maybe like 10 minutes worth of work done. You want to look at how can you get that skill chained to the next skill. So think about this workflow. What's the next workflow? Create a skill for that, then a skill for that, then a skill for that. And then slowly over time, those skills can connect to each other, and every skill that you fix or improve creates a compound effect that completely fixes your whole business or gets AI to pretty much get through this feedback loop and have the self-learning compound effect. So the way you can visualize this is, let's say there's like 5 machines in the room, right? You might have machine 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So this might be 5 different skills or 5 different chats you might have. Okay, if we have skills that link together, station 1, let's say, does an output that feeds to station 2, feeds into station 3, feeds into station 4, 5, and so on. So the whole process that it takes to get work or a specific product let's say for you, it's delivering service for a client or whatever it is, a digital service. Well, you want to have skills for every single station in your business. So let's say it's lead acquisition, it's qualifying leads, nurturing leads, closing deals, onboarding people, fulfillment, and so on. You want to think about all of the skills that connect to that so that AI can do all of the work for you. So if you treat one skill, it's great. It acts as a tool. But when you have skills that link together and chain together, well, that creates an operating system. And now AI has this world model, or kind of like can then read and invoke different skills. You turn AI into actual, like almost like a CEO in your business, or like an employee per se. It will know what to do. It will look through the SOPs, which is skills. It will say, do this skill, then do this skill, then do this skill, then do this skill, then do this skill, and then it will actually go through the full workflow. So I actually did this with a client. So Kieran's a fractional chief financial officer. So he partners up with SaaS clients, and he pretty much gives them insights on how they could improve their finance and make the right decisions in terms of growing their business. And he would charge around $3K to $4.5K per month. So when he was doing stuff in his business or working in his business, 40 hours per month he was spending on just reporting and sending reports to his clients. So imagine like 40 hours was just spent on creating reports when AI could potentially do that if you have a skill. And he hired an analyst, paying them for 20 hours of work a week in order to review the skills and to help him out. And he wanted to grow his business, but he was already capped out with the 7 clients because he was spending way too much time with the reporting. So previously 2 clients came up to him and he couldn't work with them, so he refused them. So what happened was, what previously took 1 client, which is around 6 to 8 hours of creating the report and stuff, we created a skill that then turned it from 6 to 8 hours all the way down to 10 minutes. Because all Kieran needed to do was tell AI, hey, do this workflow for this specific client, and then AI had the relevant skills and chained the skills specifically to run that complete workflow for that specific client. So you can imagine work that would take extended work that would have taken 6 to 8 hours is done within 10 minutes, only because we spend time in engineering the skill to work and to be more predictable and production grade output. So this is what Kieran said. I could 100% send this to a client and they would say, wow, this is awesome. So for Kieran, we created that one skill, or that skill system, and he then was able to roll this out to every new client. So because 70% of the work done was done for one client, he could then chain this all the way up to other clients. So now he can regain back all that time back. So now he doesn't need to pay the analyst 20 hours a week. He can plan for more clients. Exactly, he wants to get 15 clients, and now he pretty much unlocked $360,000 in capacity, in annual revenue capacity, because being able to handle more clients because he created skills. So the goal here is you want to create skills and you want to engineer skills to a point where AI does 80 to 90% of the work for you, and then you just do the last 10 to 20%. Okay, so the system or the skills should handle the reporting in your business, the content creation, let's say the client onboarding, data analytics, publishing, scheduling. This is all repetitive work that AI should do. And then the work that only you should do, or the only work that you can do, is like strategic thinking, client relationships, creativity, judgment, and taste. So if you want AI to run 80 to 90% of your business, well, you're going to love this. I'm running a workshop called the Claude Skills System, where we're going to build Claude skills that chain together and your business operations. So all you have to do is I'm going to give you the skill, you're going to install it, and then you could use that to then build skills. And within the system has a feedback loop that you can use over time to consistently engineer and improve that skill so that it can get to a production level where it operates at 80% of the quality that is good in your business. And we're going to do this in 5 steps. Number 1, we're going to map out your workflow. So instead of staring at your business wondering what should you automate, you pick up one workflow in 15 minutes, you use your proven framework and create the skill so that you can actually get AI to run one workflow in your business. We're going to build that skill. We're going to validate and test that skill, and then we're going to use that feedback to continue improve it and engineer it until we reach a point where we can run it and completely have it do a task in your business that would possibly taken you 2 to 3 hours, maybe done in within a few minutes. So what do you get? So you're going to get the Claude skill system, which is an actual skill that I'm going to give you that teaches Claude how to create skills, which is how I create it and how I create for my clients, which has 3 skill types: has a validation rubric and has a trigger testing and a feedback loop so that you continuously improve that skill. I'm going to show you how to install it. We're going to go over your first skill recipe. You also get lifetime updates, and you pretty much have the tool or the skill to get AI to run 80 to 90% of your business. So if you want that, click the link in the description. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the workshop. I'll see you then.